Hello, hello. Happy holiday Monday for some of you. All right. How are you? Hope you guys all had a good Easter weekend. If you celebrated, not everyone does. I am going to Facebook land. Make sure we're rocking here. Just bear with me a minute. So if you're joining me today, we are going to talk about products. There I am. Perfect. Okay. Just sharing this to the VIP group. That's not going to let me. Okay. All right. Well, if you are joining me today, thank you for joining me. And if you are here, I should just be tuning in. It's about a couple minute delay from the time I get started to where everyone sees me. If you are joining me and you can see and hear me, please just make a comment and let me know that's the case. I'm going to type this. No. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Okay. Perfect. So yes, today is part 2 of 2. Last week I talked about infrared saunas. Specifically, I'm leaning and discussing more on the infrared side of technology. Last week I was in my big box sauna and was showing some tips and tricks before your sauna session. Today I talked about discussing other infrared technologies, and LifePro's got a pretty healthy suite. I was sitting up this morning. This is by no means all of the products that LifePro offers that have infrared, but I wanted to talk about, sometimes there's all these choices and there's deals and there's pressure and there's sales and sometimes selecting the right tool for what you're trying to accomplish today or long term, or is this just a wellness piece of your life that you're looking to improve? So there's lots of different reasons people would use infrared. Probably the biggest one that comes to mind as far as a marketing pitch would be, of course, a lot of people like using infrared saunas for detoxification, weight loss, aches and pains, better sleep. There's lots of different reasons people will use infrared saunas. Some of the smaller devices we're going to be talking about today are more related to, let's say, my chronic use type stuff. So if you are dealing with chronic issues, sometimes there's things you need to treat on a regular basis, or you want to treat them at the office. And infrared heat is a very soothing, very comforting go-to for me in many of my downtimes. But I played baseball on Friday with my family, which I haven't in quite some time, and I was feeling it, let me tell you, especially my knee. So I pulled out my knee braces, and sometimes when you think infrared or you think sauna, it's not always a big traditional box sauna. So I'm going to get into some options today. I just wanted to draw a few links. There are some deals happening with LifePro, up to 30% off. In particular, when I was snooping on the weekend, there is a really cute, compact infrared personal sauna that LifePro now offers, and it incorporates red light. So you've got infrared and red light therapy in. It's not even over 5 feet. It's like 61 inches tall. So for those of you that dream of the box sauna experience, as I did in last week's session, it doesn't necessarily need to be massive. And LifePro has really catered to that limited space but total body experience with this product. The reason I'm mentioning that one specifically before I get to the other products, I do not have it on camera today. I do not have that version. It's a new one that LifePro came out with last year. So it's a small infrared sauna, but it's also got red light therapy incorporated in it, and it's 35% off. That's only direct with LifePro that you can find that one. I've put that in a link in the comments. Other things I wanted to mention are just infrared technologies in general, and a lot of them you'll find more readily available on Amazon. So I've dropped a link to some deals with LifePro on Amazon. Again, if you are joining me, let me know if you can see and hear me. I'm going to get to some questions after today's little chat, and I invite you to bring those to me after I've done my short ramble here. So a couple of things that I've got here that we should talk about today. A lot of what I'm talking about today, I was trying to think of what the perfect word would be, and let's call them crossover therapies. So crossover therapies are tools that they're not just one thing. So not just infrared. You'll notice there's lots of redness in my background here. And some of the tools we're talking about today offer multiple treatment modalities. So, my big wheelhouse, of course, is typically vibration plates. And the number one question I know I'm going to get after this is, how do you incorporate these together? And what LifePro has done, maybe you wanted to get into some red light. Maybe you like enjoy the heat of infrared. Maybe you like pulse electromagnetic field therapy, PEMF mats. So LifePro's come out with, sorry, dog cuddles before I came down, has a number of products that incorporate more than one therapy. Today's nucleus is kind of going to be infrared. So I wanted to walk you through just some examples depending on what it is that you're trying to treat. So for my chronic users first, or maybe you've got some old injury, or maybe you play sports hard and there's just chronic things that crop up. Infrared is a really good technology to aid and boost recovery, those aches and pains, as a warm-up even in many cases. So if you're looking at I've kind of lined these up on the table from small treatment area to larger treatment area. Of course, if I had a larger wall and a bigger camera angle, the box saunas, the dome sauna, that would be towards the end. But let's talk about different types of infrared combined tools. So the first one I wanted to start with are the torches. The torches are kind of a unique product. There's a couple of different styles. There's also the cold sore tool. There's also mini little purse-sized versions of this. All of LifePro's torches have different light features. So they've got different red lights. Some have blue, some have pulse. But we're going to speak specifically just to the infrared. The torches also offer infrared light. If you're setting it just in infrared, you're not going to see it light, because infrared is we don't see it in our spectrum of vision. So it's not a visual light. So sometimes, if you're using your combined devices and the lights are on and the lights are off, but it looks like something's working, that's typically just your infrared only option. So with the Lumicures, if you've got maybe arthritic knuckles, or you've got a pain in your toe, or a small joint pain, the torches are a little bit different because they are a short treatment time. So the diodes in the torches they're really only intended for about a 3 to 5 minute treatment period. If you've used any of the torches, you notice they get pretty warm pretty quick. They're designed for high intensity, short duration treatments. So these are going to be, things that you're wanting to treat on a spot basis, that smaller area. The torches are nice to take with you. You can use the infrared, warm up the joint, arthritis, pain, things like that. Those are all detox, guys. So, you can't get into your sauna, maybe your big box sauna 3-4 times a day, but you can treat as symptoms present throughout the day. So you can use the infrared feature, you can use the red light feature on these, but the torches are what I call a short time, 3 to 5 minute treatment, as you need them throughout the course of the day. Stepping up, maybe you've got a little bit of a bigger area. Maybe it's a wrist, or maybe it's a shoulder, or maybe it's an ankle or a knee, like I've been dealing with. So this is where I didn't know how to line these up properly. So when we're looking at things like, The wearable belts. LifePro has a number of different sizes. This is the mini. We have a little bit bigger up, and all of these come with a Velcro strap, so you can sort of position them where you want them. The belts are a very, very common sort of getting into a larger treatment area, but they incorporate the same technology as some of the smaller pads. And these are designed for more a typical treatment period. So you're going 15, let's say maybe 30 minutes. Infrared for a lot of my guys and myself, especially when I'm seated, the belt around that low back, perhaps I'm wrapping it around my knee. I love wrapping it under the hamstrings. I did that a little bit on Friday after the baseball game. So these wearables, you see when you're looking at LifePro's products online, they've got these rows of lights. So these all offer infrared, red light. Some of them offer pulse and other features, vibration and those types of things. But all of these also offer infrared therapy. So maybe you're not in the budget for a big infrared sauna, but you're sure, but your low back would love it if you gave it some attention. So these are, localized treatment area options. Other examples of that would be the knee. So if you've got something, when you're thinking about products and you're getting all wooed by all this wonderful stuff that we know infrared offers us, maybe there's a specific area you want to treat, like I do with my awesome knee. So there's a couple of different options. This looks more like the belt. This is more of that neoprene material. This one has a rechargeable battery, so you don't have to plug this one in. This is the new Bio Recover Pro. This one is sculpted to fit the knee. I'm going to pull this one out actually, because I found a new way to use this one. Hang on. I try to put everything back in the box so it's all there when I'm done. So this is the new, Amber did a launch on this one a couple of weeks ago. I have been putting this at night on my shoulder. Okay. And I've got a sweater on, so this isn't going to work, but I've been using it on my shoulder. I've been putting my little elbow in there. You can put the heel of your foot in there if you're dealing with like heel spurs. You've just got sensitivity on the heel. Maybe you're dealing with some Achilles stuff. It's more of a cup shape, and it's quite solid. So it is designed for the knee, but it's really, really effective in other body areas. So, it kind of depends on, again, where you see yourself using these tools. Let's stick that one back. Okay. Stepping up a little bit. So again, we're getting to a little bit of a bigger, Debby, I want to treat my torso, or maybe I want to treat my thighs, or, the belts. A lot of these are great if you want to treat different body parts. You can treat multiple body parts in a day. But if you find that you're spending, 3/4 of an hour, hour and a half, and you're starting to move towards what I call a total body treatment, getting into some of the larger panels or bulbs, these are what I would also call a non-wearable. These are more of a set it and forget it. So maybe you have sensitivities, maybe you have mobility issues, and it's, hard and a pain in the butt to put on some of the wearable devices. So maybe you want to step into a panel, or maybe you want to look at the bulb. You can get into these things. This is under $100, guys. This one, my stepmom uses quite diligently. This one is clipping to a bookshelf where she does her little shaky while she does her feet. This is the BioHeal panel. There's also a larger one. I've done a number of sessions with that one. I like combining the panel with my vibration plate workout. So I'm getting my infrared, and I'm getting some, but not so hot that I'm breaking a sweat. My red light, and while I'm doing my vibration plate, these are going to cover a bigger body area. So if you're wanting to incorporate that infrared that we're talking about today, but you've also been looking at some red light therapy and you're not quite sure which direction you're going yet, sometimes going with something hands-free that you can set on the table beside you, the nightstand, and decide how close to that heat you want to be while getting the benefits of the red light therapy being incorporated. So again, these are crossover technologies where a lot of times we get distracted with the red light options and we don't realize that, of course, they incorporate infrared. Joel thinks of everything. So let's move on a little bit more. Other options. If you're dealing with chronic hand stuff, you've been knitting or crocheting for years and years and you want to keep going, the glove, the Allegra hand massager also incorporates infrared. This is a little bit lighter. This is got a rechargeable battery located in this. So it kind of depends. Are you just looking for the heat and the soothing relief? This is purse size. This fits in your purse perfectly. Whereas the Allegra with the compression massage, so another crossover, you've got infrared heat options and compression massage with that one. It's a little bit larger. Depends on what you're again looking to treat. But that infrared, that soothing heat is the big thing many of you are going for. Okay, moving on. Let's start going a little bit bigger. So maybe, I want to do total body. I'm looking at accelerating weight loss. I want more total body detoxification. I want to break a sweat, but I don't have the room or the budget for the big box sauna or the dome or some of those other options. And, maybe you want to be laying down. Maybe you got to incorporate it into your existing furniture because you are dealing with smaller spaces. So this one I've talked about numerous times. This is probably, it has to be a bestseller with LifePro. This is their entry level, I would call this. This is the BioRemedy infrared only sauna blanket. It's got armholes. You can lay in your recliner. There's all kinds of options available. I see that folks are talking. Hello, thank you for joining me. I'll get back to questions here once I get through my little ramble. If budget is limited, space is limited, you're not sure if you are going to enjoy long-term, investing in something larger like a box sauna. This is a really good way to get started in infrared. More total body. As I said, you're going to ramp up that sweat factor, detox. Make sure you're hydrated. All those tips, those were last week. But this is something to consider if you're looking at, minimal investment. You can't go wrong with the BioRemedies. There are more robust versions of the infrared saunas. So depending on, maybe you're using this thing every day, as are the 6 other family members that live with you. You may want to invest in one of the wraps or something a little bit more robust with different quality. Stepping up to mats. So this is the Aliva Body Fit mat. This is a one-sided, you lay down upon it. It's a full red light and infrared. So this is a nice option for not only total body, but you can use it on your existing furniture. I know many of LifePro's products say not to use them on non-heat resistant surfaces, but what does that mean? What do you have something this big in your home that's the size of an ironing board times 5? So what I do when I'm using these, the dome sauna, those type of things on my bed, I'll lay down a couple of comforters or sometimes when I get the long box, it makes it nice and flat, just to keep some structure. But there's absolutely no issue with doing that. Just don't overheat it. Don't overuse it. Any issues I have with anything infrared that heats up, 9 times out of 10, it is our own haste, to put it away, to wrap it up. Make sure that when you are done, especially when you start getting into some of the larger, the BioRemedy, that you let the thing cool down before you fold it up and shove it in the closet. It's just to prolong the life of your tools. This one, you're stepping up in price point, but you're also getting a huge investment. There's hundreds of red lights on this, and there's a protective surface on this. So if you do sweat your bones off, you can just wipe it clean with a damp cloth. The Cozy Wrap. I've got this one on the floor because it's heavier. This would be more of a total body, similar to the BioRemedy. This is a more robust. It's got sleeves on this one. There's a picture on the back. So this one's got a little bit more of an investment, but it is a little bit higher grade materials than getting into the entry level BioRemedy. So this is a nice option if you're enjoying that experience. There is also, I'm trying to remember the name because I couldn't fit all the boxes out here. There's a two-sided as well. So just like a sleeping bag, just like the Bio Remedy, but it's full red lights. That's another option to consider. And infrared, of course, throughout as well. This one I wanted to mention. This is the larger on the bottom there, the full size. This is the mini mat. This is the PEMF plus infrared. Of all the infrared products that LifePro has, and I'm a big infrared fan. I've been in box saunas for almost 20 years myself. I find myself in my current life, sitting a lot more than I'd like to, right? Writing my blog articles or answering questions to you guys. And I've had this one probably going on 2 years now. And I use it every single day, practically every single day. This is what I sit on in front of my computer. You can see that it's worn in from me sitting on it. But this is from an infrared perspective. What I like about the PEMF mats with the tourmaline crystals in them is they hold the heat really, really well. So I'll run this for about 15, 20 minutes, get it good and hot, and then I'll turn it off. And if you like PEMF as a function, infrared, you can go as long as 60 minutes as a setting on any of the PEMF, the InfraZen mats. If you're wanting to do a pulse electromagnetic field setting, it's a default time of 20 minutes anytime throughout your session. So if you start at the beginning, it'll automatically turn off within 20 minutes. If you want to start it halfway through your session, you just hit the PEMF function on your controller and it'll automatically run for a 20-minute period, regardless of what time you have set for your sauna. This one, there is no red light. These are heavier. The quality is really for how much I've used it. Like there's no wear, there's no dents. This has held up really, really well. Not just me using, but a lot of folks in my family. So these are a good option. Again, if you're looking more total body, when you're selecting these products, sometimes it's looking at your lifestyle and being realistic with yourself about what you're going to incorporate it into. What is the type of product you see yourself using more often? It's not necessarily what I think is the best. You're going to get the benefit of infrared technology when you're using it on a regular basis. So, maybe you're doing a detox and you're going to ramp use up for the first week or two, but that maintenance piece where you're using it on an ongoing basis, take a look at what's complementary not only to your lifestyle, but your budget. There's lots of different ways you can get into some of these technologies without breaking the bank. I wanted to make sure I covered all my little notes. So I've kind of messed up my order here, but there's lots of different ways infrared can be incorporated. Recovery aspects are second to none. But just from a general chill, relaxation, maybe you work really hard and you're stressed out by the time you get home. The good thing about heat in general, if you like heat, and all of these products are adjustable in their temperatures as well. So it's not necessary that you have to tolerate something that's, preset. It's whatever's comfortable to you. And for those of you that might be dealing with heat sensitivities, I have many of you in my private groups. How do you know? There's heat sensitivities change, just like food intolerances. There's all kinds of things that as our body changes over time, we become more receptive to, and maybe they're effective or perhaps, what didn't work in the past will work today. So infrared is adaptable to a lot of the situations that you may be dealing with medically, whether that's pain, inflammation. You just need to get circulation and lymphatic movement going. Infrared is a super passive, feel-good technology that's been around probably longer than most of the things being sold there in the wellness market. So a lot of history behind infrared, and LifePro brings a lot of options to just make sure it fits what applications you're planning on using it within your life. Let me see who else I've got here. I have some visits. Hello, Barbara. Nice to see you. She has the LumaCure Pro. She has the Oliva Red Pro, and are one of the knees portable. If I had to pick one between the two knees, I would probably, from a portability perspective, probably the BioRecover Go is what this is called. There was a BioRecover original model, but this one is more designed You can almost walk and wear this one. It's just got a couple of straps, and that infrared's going to be situated around the center area. You can see up close here, there's a little battery that comes with it. So this one, compared to the sculpted molded one, it really depends. There's never one perfect tool for every situation, but as an on-the-go option, that one is a little more foldable. I don't think it even weighs a pound once it's all assembled. And just make sure you charge your battery up. I've done that a couple times where I've taken a mini massage gun or one of the little mats, and I forgot to charge the battery, so I got some relief. But I'm not a big patience person, and I don't always have my required charger with me. So things to think about if you're taking with it on the go. Do you need to wear protective glasses with any of these? You know, the glasses debate, infrared, certainly not. There, you know, that's invisible to the human eye, so you don't need to worry about the infrared. Red light, yes, you know, I'm going to talk for LifePro first, and then I'll talk my own opinion, as I always do. But of course, you know, there is a risk if you're sitting there staring into your red light diodes, you know, that's not recommended. And that's why on especially some of the high intensity products like the Lumicure torches and so forth, they do come with goggles. My experience, I do not wear unless it's something directly, you know, casting upon my face when I do my workout. If it's in my peripheral, you know, there's so many studies out now about how it improves vision and those types of things. So I think, me personally, my opinion is use your discretion. You know, if I don't want to hear, well, Debbie said that we don't have to wear glasses and now my eyes are bothering me. Common sense applies. So if you're the type of person that's going to be prone to look at it and you can't resist, then yes, you probably should put on some sunglasses or some protective eyewear. Do not worry about your pets. They do not see the same spectrum as we do. So the red light, that you do not need to put dog glasses or cat glasses on your pets. What else here? I hope that made sense. Barbara says she leg or hand massager. That's probably one of the first things I got from LifePro. God, I love that thing. I bought sauna wraps. What can they be used for? The sauna wraps are the silvery foil things. They're a good tool. I used to have a lot of people. They're when you think about it, they're your survival blankets when you're out camping and so forth. They trap body heat and keep it in. So the detox wraps is what they market them as. I believe it's just a quicker way of getting to sweat. Some of my seniors like using them because they get warm quicker. Years and years ago in my studio, I used to have a fellow that would come in and he'd wrap himself in one in the tanning bed. It's all I had at the time to get warm. He had severe sensitivity issues. So they're inexpensive, Barbara. So they're a good tool. If you can clean them and reuse them. I've done that. But if you are using sauna or you want to increase your belt experience, you can certainly cut a portion of it or wrap your entire body in it. They're really nice in the sauna blankets, any of the lay down, the mats that I've talked about today. But if you're incorporating any of your toys, they're a good way to just keep that body heat in and get you to that sweat break faster. That's really the goal behind them. I hope that answered your question. So again, the big thing when there's such a sea of products, many of these, like I say, we get a little distracted with the red light, which is just another whole chat for another day. We've done lots of chats about red light. Think more skin surface, whereas infrared's going to penetrate a little bit deeper. Combine the two. Like I say, a lot of these are what I refer to as crossover therapies, where you get more than one technology in one tool. And infrared, as I said, is many of your go-tos, but there's a lot more choices for those spot treatments and for your budget. So consider, like I say, what you would see yourself using most regularly. If you're dealing with a chronic issue like I am with my knee, the knee braces are a nice option for that maintenance and that regular piece. But if you're looking for something more total body, as I said, I did mention there's a really killer deal on the personal compact infrared sauna just through LifePro Direct in the USA. But all the way at the top, you've got the full-size infrared sauna. You've got the dome sauna. You've got the sauna bags. There's the outdoor sauna. That's not infrared, but that's a good way to get a sweat on and some detox. and just using the natural infrared heat from the sun. So any questions that you may have, if you see this on a recorded basis, you can tag me at Debby with a Y. And some of you that are using these products now, perhaps time to dust them off if you've got those aches and pains. One of the big things we do with some of these passive therapies, when things improve, and it is a nicer time of year, the weather's warming up. We had a blizzard this morning, but that's not uncommon for April in Canada. But, perhaps, to get to that gardening, the golf game, just because things have improved, don't stop the maintenance piece. Use your tools, even once, twice a week on a shorter basis, just to keep the fluidity, keep that lymph going, keep that inflammation down. Infrared is a great way, no side effects, and make sure that if you guys are using them to accelerate detox or weight loss, you're being mindful of other choices that complement that. Stay hydrated, get your rest and recovery, all of those things that you've heard us all say before. For those of you that have joined me, thank you for your questions today, Barbara. If there are no more questions, I hope that all answers your questions. Like I say, just tag me at Debby with a Y. I will be here next week. Again, I'm going to stick with something specific product chat next week, and maybe more of a component of some of the products. I'm going to be talking red light belts next week, and I've been getting all kinds of questions about the new diodes, the triple chip diodes. What are those about, and why is the Pro different than the regular, and all these questions? Well, as you guys ask for improvements, Joel is always very willing to deliver those. So some of the newer products, the newer belts, I'm going to focus on, and the big discussion is going to be, what is the difference in that chip technology? What is a triple chip versus the regular? I love talking these sciencey pieces. So I look forward to seeing you next Monday, same time, and we're going to talk about the Aliva Red Pro and the Aliva Red regular belt, and just some of the difference, so you can understand the difference in the features, the price points, and hopefully make a better decision for what's going to work best for your needs. So that's next week. Have a great rest of your holiday Monday if you're enjoying it. For those of you like me that are back to work, have a great start to your week, and don't work too hard. Thanks so much for joining me today, everyone. Nice to see you, Barb. Have a great rest of your day.